Welcome, everyone, to SOPHIA Unleashed, the return of holy wisdom, where we're learning how to go within and retrieve our own holy wisdom and sovereignty to become the true, valiant leaders of this new time on earth. I'm your host, Kathy Forrest, founder of Celestial Forest Institute, and I am so excited to be here with Kathleen Nora Bauer. Welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I'm deeply honored to be in this space with you and Sophia today.
Ah, beautiful. As a quantum seamstress, Kathleen loves weaving together the different languages of the universe as a channel for her beloved planets, stars, and guides. She's passionate about reuniting others with the sacred storytelling of their soul, be that through the unique energetic signature or blueprint of their own universal roadmap. Kathleen's journey began with nutritional science and has morphed over 13 years into soul offerings that encompass bioresonance, esoteric hypnotherapy, intuition, nutrition, astrology, the gene keys, ceremonies, and ritual. Co-creation and revolution are two of Kathleen's favorite things. Scary to get the two of us together. As a multi-galactic course manager for the Academy of the Wild Soul, the Global School for Quantum Evolution, the incredible donation-based course platform for Sacred Wealth Revolution, and as the host of her own radio show called Sisterhood Alchemy on the revolutionary platform Wombology, a movement of women creating, leading, and birthing the next era of thought, energy, and possibility, amplifying voices worldwide. A mama bear of 5, wow, Kathleen lives in the stunning Bay Islands of Aotearoa, I believe. Alongside her husband and children, they are Kataki, guardians of a beautiful forest that they are regenerating in the native New Zealand trees. She dreams of building a temple here in 2027 and holding forage sacred food ceremonies with high vibrational medicine grown on their land. Oh, that sounds divine. So I love the topic. Of course I would. The voice of Sophia, from obscurity to light with the gene keys. So, my dear, you may want to unmute yourself. What is your personal experience with Sophia?
Well, firstly, I just wanted to say it feels like honey nectar when you were reading my bio, Kathy. So thank you so much. And yeah, Kaitiaki is guardian and where I live in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Aotearoa is the First Nations, our Māori name for New Zealand. So always want to honor honor the language of Te Reo Māori, and Kaitiaki is guardians. You did beautiful pronunciation, so thank you. And yes, my personal experience with Sophia. So firstly, I'd love to just, as you did with me, Kathy, before we came on a call, you really brought me into my heart space. And so just for our listeners today, I'd love for us to just start by placing a hand on heart and a hand on belly or hand on womb space and just taking a deep breath in together. Because yes, today really going to be sharing about the voice of Sophia. And so we'd just really love for us sort of just be centered and feeling safe and anchored for this talk today. So just everyone just taking a big deep breath, collective breath in together, just sending that breath down to our bellies or our sacral space. Mm. And so my personal experience of Sophia, as I was sitting and preparing for this talk out of a sacred invitation from you, Kathy, I sat down and I journaled and I said, Sophia, what is it? What would you love? What is a holy wisdom that you would love for me to share in this talk?
Mhm.
And she sent through some words for all of us. And this is what she said. She said, I am in the listening, the sun encased in dewdrops. Every
Mhm.
time a bird sings, a leaf rustles, a child laughs, a wave crashes upon the shore. This is me reminding you to listen beyond the linear, to transmute these codes and speak them through the poetry and metaphor of your soul. And not only this, you are also here to remember that for every wave that crashes, this reverberates with the ocean of your own heart. For every bird that sings, this ignites the strands of your own DNA that were once eagles, swallows, and even the phoenix.
Mhm.
And for every child that laughs, the sparks of fairies, the magic, the twinkles into light that reside in the butterflies of your being, awaiting to be set free.
Mhm.
I am Sophia, and Sophia is we.
I'm just chilling all over right now, Kathleen. That was amazing.
Mm.
Mm.
And it was such a reminder to me because even the name of this summit, but Sophia Unleashed, the holy wisdom within, it was I was starting to go down this rabbit hole of, oh, I need to research Sophia. I need to find out all of the mythology, what is the Gnostic teachings around Sophia, and then I was becoming overwhelmed. I was like, I need to just sit and get to know Sophia intimately. It's in the title of the summit.
Mhm.
And then so just being in nature and seeing what she wanted to channel, and then through her transmission, the nature coming through, and
Mhm.
then came through, like, how about creating an altar
Mhm.
for for her? And so
Right?
what came through was a rose. I'm lucky all my roses are nearly past well,
Mhm.
nearly turned into rose hips, but I
Mhm.
still had this yellow rose, and what came through was a mirror. To reflect the divinity within. This is a mirror from the Wisdom
Mhm.
Keepers Oracle deck by Rosie Ronson, and then
Mhm.
just a feather. And so that has been my personal experience of Sophia, is just listening, and what does she want from me, and what does she wish to voice through me.
Mhm.
So thanks
Beautiful.
for having such
That
a
is
clear
very,
title.
that is so well. And, as someone who had a similar experience, she just started showing up, but I wanted to go study and, and I did. But everything that you brought through is exactly who she is. It's like she is the divine within. She is everything that you said and more. Some even call her the soul of Gaia, just the center of this earth. So I always tell my students, um, if you want to understand what she looks like, go outside because that's where you find her, right? So talk to us about the gene keys. How does that play into this? What, for our listeners that may not know, what are they?
Mm. Yes, thank you. So the gene keys are a living library of frequency transmissions that
Mhm.
were brought into our world and through the teachings, the writings of our wonderful Richard Rudd.
Mhm.
And so the gene keys encompasses human design, the Kabbalah of I Ching,
Mhm.
um, the tree of life, the quantum field, astrology. And so they're really this living transmission intricately connected and interwoven with the 64 codons of our DNA. And
Mhm.
so we have these 64 expressions that can be transmitted through our DNA through the shadow frequency. the gift, our genius frequency of a city, which is a Sanskrit word. And the city is like the cities, there's 64 cities, and they are all different, unique rainbow shards of divine love, essentially, just emitted through different shards.
Mhm.
And so the gene keys are just such a beautiful, it's beyond modality for each and every individual to do their own contemplative journey to get
Mhm.
to know what are their strengths and gifts and purpose
Mhm.
and that we can offer the world through the unique, beautiful rainbow beings that we individually are.
Very
Mm.
cool. Wow. I've studied them, but I've never heard them described in quite that way. That was exquisite. So made and it took this big body of work and you put it in this concise little package that we could understand. So thank you for that. Um, so you mentioned the shadow, the gift, the city. Um, talk to us about the shadow and Sophia. How do those relate?
Well, when I was doing my 3D research into Sophia, and they speak about the fall, um, Sophia,
Mhm.
she wanted to create, essentially she wanted to create,
Mhm.
and so she took this fall and then she gave birth without her masculine counterpart, and she
Mhm.
gave birth to Yalda, though I'm not
Mhm.
sure if I'm saying his name right, and he was chaos. He has, been called a lot of shadow names, and he brought the material world into form, but the lowest frequencies of form.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that was kind of what I
Mhm.
understood. Is that
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
kind of
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
and so what came through for me was really the Gene Key 11. So Gene Key 11 moves from the shadow path of obscurity, the
Mhm.
gift, the genius,
Mhm.
is idealism, and the city, the highest emanation of love, is light. And so
Mhm.
when I was thinking about this ball
Mhm.
of Sophia, through the shadow of obscurity, we look at things very from the left brain or very one-sided. The right side of our brain, the feminine side, is very
Sure.
obscured, which has
Mhm.
happened through patriarchy
Mhm.
in a big, big way. And so it's like having foggy glass, you
Mhm.
can't see the whole picture. And when you can't see the whole picture, you can hold on to beliefs and
Mhm.
think that those are true. Like a lot of people may believe, that Sophia sinned when she took that fall and she didn't listen to God, and she all of it, and then this and this and this happened, which is a very obscured view. Well,
Mhm.
we could look at the bigger picture, especially through the right brain,
Mhm.
and see, in fact, it's her desire to create which enables the divine to express through each and every one of us. And
Exactly.
this relates to the Jinkies teaching of we cannot get to the city without being in the shadow. We
Right.
need to go through these human experiences
Mhm.
and be in the ickiness sometimes, and not bypassing the horrible stuff that happens and that we do to each other.
Mhm.
But it's through these human struggles and adversity that we find the laughter and the love and the art and the music, which
Mhm.
enables the divine to express and
Mhm.
live through us. So
Exactly.
that was kind of how it came through, was the obscurity of only seeing one side of a picture is
Mhm.
kind of a shadow, and
Yeah,
how that
for
connects to
sure.
Sophia.
And that is, I mean, there are stories out there that describe it that way. Um, if you see it through the eyes of physics, then the story gets eliminated. And what we know is that in order for physical life to exist, there needs to be two extremes. And so she was at this high extreme of non-physical. And then in order for that to, in order for us to do just what you said, was to, to express the divine through these beautiful physical bodies, she had to fall. Her frequency had to go down and unite with matter, which, they created a story around that. But from a physics point of view, it's sacred geometry is what happened. and the Vesica Pisces, it's like the two come together, they create an opening for something new. And that's what she did. And that's what we find in the flower of life. It's everywhere. So the story is absolutely how we can understand it. But she didn't do anything wrong. That's, but if you think about it, the feminine has been cast in that for eons of time, that, and if you look at the stories around Sophia, that's what happens. It's like, it's the fall and the rising, coming up through, so the divine can come. So talk to us about the gift and Sophia.
Yeah, and I love what you just said. And Kathy, I've heard you say it a few times, about our soul journey of we come down and we forget, but we have this big plan before we come down. So it's like it's through these coming down and we've forgotten, but through this shadow of being in these shadow experiences that
Mhm.
the light starts to shine through.
Mhm.
And so, yes, this does bring me to the gift. So the gift is like there's so many metaphors, but we'll use the tree metaphor. So we've been composting the soil with our shadow work, and we've
Mhm.
planted the seed, and now the gift and our tree starts to emerge, and maybe even our genius, our epiphanies blossom, start to
Mhm.
blossom on the tree.
Mhm.
And so the gift of idealism and how it connects to Sophia, I love to look at it as when Sophia descended, she didn't fall, when she descended,
Mhm.
it's like a mirror sharded, like a mirror broke into thousands of pieces. And
Mhm.
each shard is representative of one of our feminine archetypes, such as one shard is Venus or Inanna or Isis or Kuan Yin, all these divine feminine aspects and mirror shards.
Mhm.
And so through the gift of idealism, we look in these mirrors and reflected are these archetypes within us because they're not actually outside of us.
Mhm.
These archetypes are all inside of us and waiting to be reflected. So
Mhm.
it's like the obscurity is the mirror is, it's we've got it needs cleaning. When
Yeah.
we get to the gift of idealism, we have these beautiful mirrors that are just polished and shining our own divinity back to us through the
Uh,
different laughter and expression and love and songs of
mm,
Sophia. It's
mm.
really how I see the
That is
gift relates
so
to Sophia.
beautiful. I love the way you describe that. We've all kind of said it in different ways, but that is so visual and beautiful. Um, so then we've all had those experiences with different feminine archetypal energies. What happens with at the Siddhi level with Sophia?
So the city, it's like not a goal. It's like, you can't force a tree to
Right?
start fruiting as much as you would love. You would love to just speed up that process. A tree is going to fruit with the right amount of love and nurturance and all of the different elements. The sunshine can get through, the worms can um, do their thing, you know, all of us. So the city is not something that we can force, but as we get to know ourselves, especially through Sophia in this context, as we get to see Sophia in the child's laughter and we start to recognize that, or we start to see Sophia with the rising sun, or the, you know, sometimes if we're in the shadow of obscurity, we can look up to the night sky and only see clouds. But
Mhm.
when you come into the gift and the city, you see the galaxies beyond the clouds. You see the twinkling stars that are talking to you. So,
Mhm.
Sophia through the city is the light that comes through, and not just our visual light, it's a light that we feel, we receive the love of the aurora, the northern lights, even if you've never seen them, you know, you can feel them. So
Mhm.
it's like seeing and receiving all of the spectrums of light without having to like
Mhm.
visually
Right.
see it, but it's more a feeling. And then as you begin to recognize all of these different expressions, they become part of your daily life.
Yeah.
And you begin to respond and dance to life, and you still have these struggles, and you still have, you know, you want the world to heal and you don't want to see these atrocities, but
Mhm.
it's not like, what can I do? It's how can I become more of who I actually already am, because this is how we're going to heal our world collectively, not by outsourcing, but returning back to that divine inner light and radiance, which is already right in here. And
Right.
Sophia is here to reflect that light to us.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, I mean, this sounds like I would have loved to have been inside of you when you were having this experience because it's just exquisite. What are some rituals people can do at home if they want to connect with Sophia in the way you did?
That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful question. So for me, an
Mhm.
altar, an altar can be as minuscule or elaborate as you want.
Mhm.
If you live in a city, a city, not a city. If you live in a city, an altar could be something that you create with a pot plant, of just being in tender loving care with this one pot plant. It may
Mhm.
be a cactus, it may be
Mhm.
anything, and going to a plant nursery and walking around the nursery and being like, Sophia, please speak to me. First of all,
Mhm.
yeah, Sophia, how how would you love to express? How would you like to connect? How would you love to talk? Talk to
Mhm.
me today, Sophia. What would you like to co-create with me? So
Mhm.
really firstly opening up the conversations with Sophia, and that may start with just a journaling process of just
Mhm.
asking Sophia, how would how I would love for you to appear to me today. How,
Mhm.
please show me a sign. And you spoke about the flower of life, a sacred geometry. It may be a shell, it may
Mhm.
be a feather, it may be an apple when you slice into an apple and you're like,
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
gosh, I never recognized sacred
Right?
geometry with an
Mhm.
apple. So an altar can be something that you can create in just your home if you live in a city. It can be a mandala of leaves if it's a fall of a autumn. It
Mhm.
can be a little shrine you build underneath the daffodils that come up in the springtime. It
Mhm.
may be a medicine wheel that you create if you are versed in the medicine wheel, which I think you are,
Mhm.
Kathy.
Mhm.
Um, just, but firstly, any altar or ritual that you create is just asking Sophia and awaiting her answer, which you know may not come through a voice.
Mhm.
It may be something that you need to cultivate in this relationship. Although
Mhm.
I don't personally, I don't feel it's something that will take much because she's so here for us, as you well
Right.
know.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
she's here. The veils are convinced she's ready to converse and commune and dance and sing through us. So
Ah,
those are just a few things that come to
right,
mind.
right, right. Um, before we get to your free gift, because your free gift is going to be another way that they
Mm,
can. But
yeah.
before we talk about that, is there anything else you want to share with our listeners? Anything coming through right now, or anything that you feel they need to hear?
Mm. Yeah, the voice, just coming back to the voice is it's Sophia is here to help us heal
Mhm,
as well.
mhm,
And at the start, when placed that your hand on your heart and your hand on your sacral space, your womb or your hara,
mhm,
doesn't matter for feminine and masculine,
mhm,
we're all here. It's holy wisdom. We're
mhm,
all here. But she's here to help us heal. And sometimes when we have wounds around our voice or speaking, this is because we've had these wounds to our divine feminine, our divine masculine. We've all felt this patriarchal um, denseness, no
mhm.
matter what body we incarnate in. So it's like really connecting in with our sacral space and our heart and asking her, how can we heal any wounds that we have around creativity, around feeling safe, around our courage, in order that we may use our voice to speak your love into the world. Like,
Mm,
just this is just a practice that we can do straight out of this call of
yeah.
just how can, because she's here to heal us, that
Mhm.
we're here to heal. Our Mama Earth doesn't need healing, but she wants us, our children, to
Right,
heal. And so,
exactly.
not holding anything back, we have a full brigade here to help us heal. And just knowing that we have the power within ourselves because we have the support of
Mhm.
Sophia and the whole entire universe and galaxies here for us as well.
Wow. Well, your free gift is probably going to be an easy way for people to connect
Mm,
with her. Um,
mm.
you called it The Voice of Sophia, a guided transmission and journey. Is there anything you want to speak into about that?
Yeah, this is just going to be, you'll receive the link when you sign up for it, and it'll just be a beautiful, just journey that you can take in your own comfort and a
Mhm,
quiet space and just kind of connect in with your transmission. Well,
mhm,
connect in with you and your feather, your gem, your rose, whatever it is, your symbol that is going to really be your sacred portal key for opening up your voice of Sophia, the transmissions of Sophia that you want and are here to share. Because the more that we can each transmit
mhm,
what Sophia, who she is, and not through any books or
mhm.
unless they're amazing books like the Sophia Code, of course.
Right,
No,
right.
but knowing that she's within us, we don't need to look externally for her. So this guided journey is just going to be really introducing us to this portal key that kind of unlocks our unique transmission.
Ah, Kathleen, this is amazing. For someone that thought she had to study, this has been exquisite. Thank you. Thank you for being so courageous and sharing this gift without even, yeah, with no qualms whatsoever. You just walked in and said, let's do it. So thank you. Thank you. It was
Well, I just sorry, just before we go, just one more thing came in from that
awesome.
I'd love to share. Just to wrap up, the Gene Keys actually is within the Gene Keys, we have this golden path where we have spheres that are very significant that
Mhm,
hold our shadows and our gifts and our cities. And
mhm,
so along this pathway, we have a radiant sphere that is very connected to our health and vitality and
mhm,
our light.
mhm,
And that is the 11th gene key for me. So this is why this gene key is very personal to me. Um, but it was actually, yeah, through feeling this pressure to study and learn more about Sophia that I was really guided back. So this had to be a channeling to me. I couldn't have a script. It had to have a channeling because the 11th gene key is my Neptune in astrology, and Neptune is our divine love, and Neptune is our just our love behind the realms, and he's our spiritual, Neptune is here to help us tap into our oceans of vast inner knowing, so very connected to the holy wisdom. So it
Mm,
couldn't have been any other way. So
I love it.
thank
I
you,
love
Neptune. Thank you, Sophia. And
it.
thank you, Kathy, for holding the space and inviting us all in today.
Oh, it was exquisite, Kathleen. Thank you. Thank you for being so brave.